Welcome to ExecCraft, and my name is Josh Gould. Today, we're actually going to be talking about businesses that you can invest in or start up with not a lot of money that is not going to be negatively affected by AI, at least anytime soon. So, first up, I want you to think about home services. Imagine this. It's the middle of the night. It's freezing cold outside, and all of a sudden you're woken up by a pop and a gush of water. You run downstairs, it's pitch black, the lights are out, and you feel water at your feet, and you realize there is a leak in your house. What do? Do you go on your computer and figure out how to start welding or soldering the pipe? And is it PVC or is it copper? Probably not. You're going to call a plumber, at least if you're anything like I am. You're going to call a plumber. They're going to come out in the middle of the night. It's going to be an emergency, and they are going to be worth their weight in gold. And believe me, they're going to charge you that. Now, they'll come in and they will figure out how to fix it. And you're going to pay them and you're going to thank them. And then you're going to recommend them. And this is a great business because it's a skill that isn't just about knowledge. Anyone can go and look on ChatGPT how to be a plumber, how to do something. They can watch the YouTubes, but you require the ability to apply this. That's understanding versus knowledge. And it's the same with landscaping. Many people can cut their own grass. They can rake their own leaves. They can plant their own planters. But AI cannot do that. And when they can't do it because they just simply don't have the time, they're going to call you or another landscaper. And these businesses are great businesses. They're safe from AI. And it's not that AI won't assist those businesses. AI can assist them in the admin. It can answer the phone for them. It can set appointments up for them. It can do the marketing for them, but it's not going to replace them. And that's why these are great businesses to invest in or to start up yourself. Now, you will need a little bit of capital and a little bit of knowledge, but these aren't multi-million-dollar startups. These are things that you can learn to do and start up on your own. So the second set of businesses that I want to talk to you about today are ones where you need to be there in person, real person, not artificial intelligence. Believe me, if I could send my AI avatar, and you bet I've got one, but if I could send it to the gym for me, I absolutely would. But I'm not going to get any stronger or any fitter. And you don't look this good if you don't go to the gym, right? So send yourself to the gym and go and figure out how to copy it, what works, what doesn't work, or go to somewhere else that requires relationships. If gyms aren't your thing, maybe restaurants are. I guess that's the opposite, right? So restaurants can't be done by AI. It's got to be done by real people, real chefs, real servers, real relationships. So think about businesses where relationships matter. Restaurants is a great one. Bars are another good one. Gyms are a great one. But anywhere that you require a retail unit could be a great idea for you. Now, in terms of investment, these are typically bigger. You're talking about hundreds of thousands, not thousands or tens of thousands. But in terms of knowledge, it's usually a lot easier than, say, being a plumber or a landscaper. But these are great opportunities for you. And if you've got good family and good friends that can give you a bit of a start, you can go and raise the money, then I can suggest it, because I think the valuations of these businesses will increase significantly as investors look to invest in hedges of AI and businesses where AI is harder to disrupt. Now, the third set of businesses, which I want to cover today, are manufacturing companies. And it's not that AI isn't in manufacturing. Of course it is. And AI has been in manufacturing since the 80s. My grandfather was a tailor, and he told me that nobody could make a suit with a machine better than him. And guess what? He was wrong. Machines could make suits quicker and they could make them cheaper with less waste over and over again. And he was replaced by a machine, and he was forced into retirement in his 60s, and he hated that fact. because his business didn't invest in those machines, the business didn't last very long. However, if you are a specialist manufacturer, if you are doing things like fixing antiques or phones, then you're in a great business to be a hedge against AI. In fact, I was just walking here in Aventura Mall and I saw a number of businesses advertising to fix my screen or replace my battery. And I went up to one of them because my battery isn't lasting too long these days. And they told me it was going to be $100 to fix it. And I was shocked. But then it was that or spend $1,500 on a new phone. So I spent the money and I got a new battery and I had a crack in the screen. So I got a new screen too, spent $200, saved myself $1,500. And that was great. But it was done by a human, a really good human, I hope, because I haven't tested out my phone yet, but we're soon going to find out. But you should look at all types of very specialist manufacturing. This is where you're not manufacturing at scale. You're manufacturing small things or you're fixing things. They're great businesses and they can protect you against this AI revolution. So I said I was going to give you a few ideas. Here is the bonus one. It is your lucky day. I have been investing in my very own hedge against artificial intelligence. And I've been buying up through Allwoodley Capital small doctor offices. And we've been doing a roll up. These are doctor offices, mainly in Florida, but you can do it right where you live. And you buy them and they are trading at 3 to 4 times cash. So if you have a doctor's office that's doing $2 million a year and making, say, $500,000 a year, you will probably need about $1.5 million to buy it. And you have to use really good lawyers because in most cases, non-doctors can't own doctor offices, but there are ways through medical service organizations. So you can buy these doctor offices and roll them up and put them together or just run them for cash. And they're really good. They use AI. AI is used all over the doctor's offices that I invest in, but you can't replace your doctor with AI, at least not yet. Now, I know in the comments, people are going to be saying, listen, I Google my own symptoms, I self-diagnose. Well, try and write yourself a prescription. You can't, right? You've got to go to one of my doctors or someone else's doctor. On that note, I'm going to call it for this week's edition of ExecCraft. My name is Josh Gould, and I thank you very much for listening. Please, before you go, if you've got this far, leave me a comment, share, subscribe, hit the like button. You know what to do. Make my day because I'm in a brand new studio. It cost me a fortune. I couldn't even afford the fake background. But please subscribe, share, like, do your thing, and have a good one.